The WNBA has been the laughingstock of the sports entertainment world for so many years.
A turnover at the top of the key to your reference rack, and she passed that to us, Mary.
And rightfully so. Not because they're women, but because their sense of entitlement, especially for the lack of entertainment value, genuinely infuriates a lot of people. They never had a true marketable face of the league until now. Caitly Clark, in just her rookie season, is bringing in some much-needed viewership to a dying league. And Caitly Clark is completely exposing the WNBA for its toxic culture. Or rather, lack of culture. You'd think that the WNBA would be immensely grateful for now having the opportunity to finally rise from the shadows and into the spotlight. And yet, they're finding ways to literally hurt her, disrespecting her in the media, and blatantly trying to steal all the attention for themselves. It's truly crazy to see how much positive impact Caitly brings to the league and how ungrateful and childish these grown women are behaving. Her biggest haters are the ones who should appreciate her the most. The WNBA is on course to lose $50 million this season, and the only player capable from a media standpoint to save this league from its generational dumpster fire is being hated for being white rather than being praised for her basketball ability and new viewership alone. Why is it that only WNBA players hate Caitly? They finally have a chance to save their dying league, and they're ruining it by giving her hard fouls, tweeting hateful remarks, and even going on live television and comparing her to a f***ing snake.
No matter what I say about this, you're not going to hear me. You're not going to listen to me. It's a distraction. He's going to be the focus. No matter what I say, he is going to be the focus. No matter how many good points I make, no matter what is going on, you have already made up your mind about this situation. That is what the media at times has shown to do with Caitly.
Okay. The WNBA's mission for years has been to increase league coverage and to get better pay. Now, with the ability to do just that, they're fumbling the bag hard. Caitly's media attention and revenue that she brings to her league isn't just good for her, it's good for every single WNBA player. Because the more food there is, the more food you'll eat. Her media attention alone has already helped countless WNBA players get sponsorships and even paid for some private charter flights. Is that enough to make the players like her? Unfortunately not. At this point, there's really nothing she can do to make people like her, especially because she's done nothing more than increase the attention the league gets. The whole issue has revealed something about the players that we've known for years. They don't want to be respected, wealthy athletes. They prefer to be victims. And the audacity to say that the only saving grace of the league is a distraction is comical to me. In what delusional world is having fans a distraction? Not to mention that she is quite literally the only attraction the WNBA has to offer. Besides, fans are exactly what any sport needs to thrive. Without fans, it wouldn't be a sport. Let's look at the numbers. Since Caitly Clark's arrival in the WNBA, viewership grew by 400% compared to 40% growth before the 2023 season. But it's not just viewership. Ticket sales also increased. Before 2023, ticket sales were growing by a measly 16% more or less every year. But in 2024, the year of Caitly Clark, ticket sales are up 90%. The audacity to call her a distraction when she single-handedly put the WNBA on the map for all the right reasons, I might add, baffles my mind. Regardless, it's no surprise that the WNBA is clearly f***ing everything up. Not even her teammates have come out to defend her. But is this a racial issue? That's not up for me to decide, but it's definitely the narrative that the WNBA players are running with. Just because a straight white woman brings in more attention than the black lesbians who run the league doesn't give them the right to hate on someone who has done nothing wrong to them. Would the WNBA players love for the face of the league to be black and part of the LGBT community? Well, yes, but beggars can't be choosers, and they can use all the help they can get if their goal is fair pay and an increase in viewership, which, by the way, go hand in hand. The average attendance for a WNBA game this season is about 7,645. That alone is an increase from last year, and it's all because of Caitly Clark. But a game with Caitly Clark playing is about 15,691, which is more than a 105% increase. It's abundantly clear that Caitly Clark doesn't need the WNBA. Rather, the WNBA absolutely needs Caitly Clark. as any player that has garnered media attention is only there because they're talking about Caitly Clark. For example, the reason that I now know who A'ja Wilson is, who is an incredible talent and has won multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards, an MVP, and a championship, is all thanks to, you guessed it, Caitly Clark. I personally am a huge basketball fan. I mean, I have a basketball channel for crying out loud. And I didn't even know 5 WNBA players. I literally only knew about Brittany Griner, and that's only because she was casually traded for, oh, I don't know, the Merchant of Death. But if you look beyond the surface, you can start to understand why the WNBA is so toxic. Approximately 7 years ago, former WNBA champion Candace Wiggins revealed that she was heavily bullied for her sexual orientation and her popularity. As she stated, "I wanted to play 2 more seasons of the WNBA, but the experience didn't lend itself to my mental state. I didn't like the culture inside the WNBA, and without revealing too much, it was toxic for me. My spirit was being broken." Following her statement, many WNBA players denied her claims, insisting that her experience was personal and not reflective of the league as a whole. While their perspective is fair, her account sounds more valid when you add up the other stories. For instance, when Luka Doncic first entered the league, he attempted to support the WNBA by creating what seemed to be a harmless video.
What's up, Ricky? I know you're having a great season, so just keep pushing. I know you're going to be the rookie of the year, so the best of luck to you.
As you can see, the video was completely harmless, and if anything, leaned more towards being positive. The WNBA could have thanked him or simply stayed silent if they disapproved. Instead, the Minnesota Lynx harshly responded with this tweet. Says a guy who hasn't been to a WNBA game all season but got sent a jersey and recorded a scripted video. It's this toxic, ungrateful, jealous rhetoric that has made the WNBA a laughingstock for years. Instead of taking note and improving their league, they play the victim and their product stays the same. Would you like to see women dunking? I know that would surely make the WNBA more appealing to me instead of 4 quarters of layups and turnovers. A simple change, I might add. Well, this is what the players had to say.
Do you think that the game will get more watch if the rims were a little bit shorter? So like when females can like, for guys, it's something when you see somebody get dunked on.
I'm very glad you asked this because this is probably one of the most offensive questions you can ask a WNBA player.
And I'm not trying to read you right now. I'm just trying to get you to understand why it's not logical to ask us to do that. So, we're constantly being compared to men. We have people excelling at a 10-foot rim. And now you want us to lower the rim so we can continually be compared, only to still be criticized because now you have someone like me who has done what she's done.
Now I have to relearn the game.
Relearn the game. I guess they didn't realize that the ball they played with in college and the ball they use in the WNBA are different sizes. How's that for relearning how to play? But why did I go off topic? After all, this is a video about Caitly Clark. It's because you all know exactly why everyone doesn't take the WNBA seriously. And now that they have a massive media attention, something that they have been desperately thirsty for, she's a distraction? Get the f*** out of here. Just look at my tone. I've never given a about the WNBA, and now I'm making a video on it. It's because of Caitly Clark. There are so many new fans that are now watching WNBA games. It's because of Caitly Clark. There are 80-year-olds who have never watched a women's basketball game now having heated arguments over the women's basketball team for the Olympics. It's all because of Caitly Clark. The truth is that this is a prime example of women putting down women, because every NBA player and analyst has come out and publicly supported Caitly Clark. And not only is it extremely unfair to Caitly, but it's even more unfair to the WNBA. How could they be shooting themselves in the foot here? I mean, come on. It honestly doesn't matter if she's the best player or not. That's up to both the stats and the fans to decide that. But it's easier for a new WNBA fan who chose to watch the game for Caitly to start to like a different player. Next thing you know, you start to substantially grow your fan base to not just Caitly Clark, but to the league as a whole. But all this hate going to Caitly, especially from her own league, is only pushing casual fans away from the league as a whole and drawing them closer to Caitly, which is a never-ending cycle which will probably end in Caitly Clark leaving the WNBA to play in Europe, where she'd hopefully be appreciated. But what do you guys think? And be honest, have you guys watched a recent WNBA game because of Caitly Clark? Let me know in the comments and check out my channel to see my other videos on underrated players.